2023 and soon to be the beginning of 2024. I'm going to knit myself a beanie, just something fun and simple to end the year on, something crafty. Do some contemplations, muse on what I want for next year, how I'm setting goals with actual steps and ways of executing them. Let's start the project. I have this old green yarn from when I made the pumpkin hat, and well, it's a lot of green yarn. It was just used to make the leaves, so I love this deep emerald color, and that is what I'm using today. And I'm working out of one of my favorite books. It's got some pretty easy things in it. I'm pretty sure the first thing I did on this channel was make something out of this, so yeah, getting back to it. This is the one I'm going to be working on today. And I know you're supposed to sew most of these hats up. Like, I have, the only kind of needles that I have are in the round, but if I can figure out how to just join it instead of having to sew it up at the end, I just think it looks a bit nicer. But I don't trust myself enough to do that, so I will read over it and we'll get back to that one. Yeah. Anywho, let me get started on this and we'll have a little bit of a chat. For living out in the middle of nowhere, it's always loud out here. People already celebrating. This year, I've had some good projects. I definitely miss the mark when it comes to filming, and there are many reasons for that at least I know, and therefore I can hopefully work on making it better in the future. You know, a big part of achieving something is doing the thing, and you really can't problem shoot till you're actually doing the thing, and sometimes that takes longer than you think it would. For me, it's time management, because my job schedule is just a little chaotic, which I did that to myself because I wanted kind of a more free schedule, but sometimes that just leads to things getting out of balance. So learning to work within that, working in a small space that is kind of dark and working with very little and being satisfied, because it's easy to dream big, but you know, just me and my phone and my $19 microphone. Unfortunately for editing, found a old Mac, as you can see behind me. That was very useful, very cool to find something within budget that's a little more high end. You know, some things they get off track, like financially you're not able to achieve things because things happen in life. life is a wee bit messy. But yeah, pushing on into the new year, laying out step by step what it takes to get things done. I know a lot of people like to kind of be meh about setting New Year's goals or resolutions or whatever, but I'm a creature of ceremony, so it kind of gets my brain going. How about you? Have you set goals? Do you like setting goals? Do you like setting resolutions? I keep looking up like this because the fluffs from this fabric or yarn material, it's going into the air. If you do have success in setting goals, do share how, like what's gotten you to where you want to go. For me, I think I'm going to do quarterly checkups because we overestimate what we can do in a day, a week, a month, but checking up like every 3 months seems like a reasonable amount to get something done. I think I talked about that last year. Feels very far away. I know some people said this year went by fast, but I don't know. Maybe if you sit down and contemplate about what has happened through the year. Do you have any craft projects you're pursuing? Any hobby? Anything? We can make it small. Like, do you want to take up walking more? Are there places you want to explore around your city or town? Is there friends you want to see more? Is there something small like trying knitting? Maybe making knitting for a loved one? Some knitting projects? I think that's always a delightful feeling, is getting to provide your work for someone else, especially something unique. Yeah. I hope to come back here often. I really would love to achieve a video a week. That would be so good. Even a short. I'm hoping to have a video a week or every other week and at least one short a week. And that should be reasonable, but man, it's really hard to figure out something that's entertaining and not an all-day project, especially because short form goes into oblivion to never be seen again. If it is, it's very rare. So wanting to put, time and effort in that is really hard, just mentally. I get to do that till it measures 6 inches. Sorry, centimeters. 6 centimeters. Centimeters. I'm also pursuing just my artistic skills. I've never been satisfied with them. Still feel like a late bloomer with them. It's so bad. But I've always been a late bloomer, so I am used to it, unfortunately, at this point in time. But it makes you very sleepy human, for sure. I'd also like to relearn how to knit because I learned kind of what seems like a easy, sloppy way really fast of just throwing your hand over. And I think in the long term, that's not super healthy, maybe for wrist and hand movement, arm movement. There's so many ways of holding the yarn. I'll just have to get used to it though. I guess it would be like relearning to ride a bike. If you knew how, it's gonna feel really awkward, but I think that would be a wise thing to do. I'm going to continue on this for a little bit, and if I have any musings, I'll get back to you. And if you have any musings, talk to me through the written word. So I have the rib down. I think it was, I actually didn't keep track of the time, unfortunately. So next is the cable. Now, I did realize I made the faux pas of choosing the wrong needle size, and I'm like, this already feels very large, and I went with it, but we'll see. Probably gonna have to undo everything. That sounds typical though. Oh yeah, that's really small. Well, that's probably not gonna go. Is this how I begin the new year? It looks so big. You know what? It's fine. That's how this year ends. It's definitely going to be tight if I do it that way, or I can just redo everything. I'll probably have to redo everything. Happy New Year, I guess. And it is common for me to be pulling out pieces like this, so you're just seeing an honest moment. Alas, alas. Yeah, that would have been just too tight. That's crazy because it looks so big. Here's to new goals and trying new things. I will see you in the future. And I hope you had a safe and lovely New Year, New Year's Day. Be careful. Although this is past tense by this point, but yeah. Thanks for joining me. It tickles my nose.